Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio.
Elizabeth Dutton.
Zaron Burnett.
I've got a question for you, my friend.
I bet you do.
Don't I look like I have a questioning face?
You do. You look curious.
Yeah. My question is simple, straightforward, right to the point. Do you know what's ridiculous?
I do know what's ridiculous.
Prove it.
You ever had buzz balls?
I've seen
a
them.
Case of the buzz balls?
I've never, ever cracked one open, tasted one, no idea. They've never done anything for me where I'm like, I need to have a buzz ball night.
For those who have no idea what we're talking about, buzz balls, it's a round shape beverage.
Sure.
Comes in it looks like a little hand grenade.
Uh-huh.
And so you get a case of the buzz balls.
Are they malt liquor like a lot of the drinks are now?
I think so, yeah. I've been trying to find out exactly what it is, and I think it is sort of a malt liquor, like a wine cooler-ish type thing.
Okay.
They have a bunch of different flavors. Lime Rita, short for
so like a margarita.
Chili mango, berry cherry limeade, lotta colada.
Okay.
It's that kind of this party.
Sure, yeah, cocktails. Fun, fruity cocktails.
Yeah, they have a new flavor coming out called Pink Lemon Squeezy. Well, it came out, Pink Lemon Squeezy.
Sure. Just in time for spring.
They describe it as loud, proud, and packed with the playful vibe only buzzballs can bring.
Okay, sure, why not?
So there's this woman that we need to blame for everything. Her name is Sarah Saunders.
Okay.
And she is the chief marketing officer at Sazerac company that owns Buzzballs.
They make the Buzzballs.
Oh, yeah, as well as Fireball, like a bunch of other brands.
I remember Fireball.
Yeah. It's that whole vibe, right? So she's always thinking, how am I going to market this vibe? We're so vibed out. And they use vibe a lot in what they do.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, they want to have shareable DNA and go viral.
Shareable
and
DNA.
They play to their strengths because they're a ready-to-drink product. And you're consuming them at a higher frequency. So they got to keep it front of mind, right?
These meetings sound like hell to me.
And they're always looking for unexpected engagements, Aaron.
Yes.
And a laughter litmus test, they say.
Laughter litmus
They want
test.
buzz on buzz, and there's portfolio thinking. So anyway.
These terms.
I'm just so glad I don't work in that kind of industry. Anyway, so buzzballs, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're how do we get people in on this thing? What can we do that Elizabeth's going to find out about 3 weeks late? That's the big question in all these boardrooms across the USA. In order to celebrate Valentine's Day, they came up with this thing they were going to put online on February 3rd at 10 a.m. Eastern, and it would only be available for a week to bid on. Bidding starting at $2.14. And then it would ship out by February 13th for Valentine's Day. So it's if you really love someone, if you're really committed.
Set them free.
Yeah. You just
if they return to you
away.
with buzzballs,
run away.
It's meant to be.
Well, then you would bid on this thing. And what is this thing that I keep blathering about?
I am so afraid.
A 9-carat lab-grown diamond ring modeled to look like the container of the brand's new pink lemon squeezy flavor. Featuring over 300 hand-set diamonds totaling 9 carats, has an estimated value of $35,000.
Are you kidding me?
It is so ugly. It is so ugly. But if someone really loved me, they'd do that. They'd get on eBay.
They get you a $35,000
so I was
diamond that looks like a buzzball.
$35,000 and I'm late to the party. How much did this thing go for?
I'm very curious because there's only one and they let you bid.
There's only one.
Okay.
I found the listing.
The winning bid.
Yeah. And so
the listing someone's already trying to sell it?
No, I wish. There were 100 bids.
Only 100?
And it went for $8,300.
Wow.
So I don't know if you can sell it for parts.
A good jeweler could probably chip that diamond out.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if will eBay tell me who won? Or is that a secret?
I don't really do eBay, so
neither do
You're
I.
on your own, sister.
Hey eBay. Yeah, oh no, look, it doesn't give me their names, but yeah, this person, they got in right under the wire, this bidder, and it's not giving me any details on them. But anyway, they won $8,300
for a $35,000 diamond.
Yeah, but I feel like that $35,000 K is an exaggeration.
Well, that's
Zaron.
dependent upon somebody buying it at that price, which I don't think you have any guarantee
well,
of.
and they say 9 carats, but it's like cumulative 9 carats. It's not one 9-carat stone.
It's factory made.
A lot of
these diamonds.
They're factory grown, and it's pave,
lab grown,
pave city up in there. But it has a little pull tab. See, I'm zooming it in on my iPad to show you.
Oh,
it has a little pull tab on the top. That's true love. Oh, and it says buzz balls on the side. Will you marry me
for
with
the
this
party
buzz
girl
ball
of your life?
Oh my God. It's very Paris Hilton. Anyway, I've gone on too long with this. It's ridiculous. Next.
I'll give you that. That is
No,
ridiculous.
you're going to have to. It's
the
ridiculous.
fact this is what our economy has come down to. It's equally ridiculous.
And this just came to us from every angle from
sure.
tons of rude dudes. So
thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Well, I got something ridiculous for you that doesn't involve diamonds or buzzball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll put it this way. If you scratch the surface of even the most professional art crime, you will likely find a bunch of amateurs doing their best impression of professionals.
Always.
This is Ridiculous Crime, a podcast about absurd and outrageous capers, heists, and cons. It's always 99% murder-free and 100% ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Elizabeth. We cover a lot of art crimes on here, you and I.
Yeah, I love them.
We've been impressed by some of their tactics, their methods.
Yeah.
Maybe not for their professionalism, but at least their bravado.
Yeah. And their taste.
Totally. Like, do you remember the episode I did, The Viper, the General, and the Rose of Dugdale?
Yeah, where the lady was supporting the IRA. And
Yeah. It's the one about the Irish manor home that once belonged to Lord Alfred and Lady Clementine. And Lady Clementine was one of the Mitford sisters who were a whole trip unto themselves.
That's a whole thing.
And then being a lord and a lady, of course, they had this impressive art collection. Anyway, their home kept getting robbed, first by Rose Dugdale on behalf of the IRA, as you pointed out, and then later Lord Alfred and Lady Clementine. They get robbed by an Irish hardman criminal, this guy Martin Cahill and his gang.
Yeah.
And when he breaks in, he drives his Mitsubishi Pajaro truck right up to the stairs, then smashes through the French doors to bust inside the manor home and steal the artwork.
That was a good one.
Good times. That's what you call bravado.
Dave made me feel like I was there.
It was such a great picture.
Yeah.
But that kind of bravado is not exactly the most sophisticated plan. We're going to take a truck and smash into your
There's no
French
elegance
doors.
to that.
No. Now, if you speak with someone whose job it is to track down and arrest these sorts of art thieves, they will tell you, most of the time, even when it's an impressive job, the thieves are just amateurs doing their best impression of professional thieves, like they've seen in the movies, which we often cover.
Lupin.
Like, we often have this idea that there are professional art thieves out there who work for international criminals, doing their bidding, pulling off well-conceived art heists.
Yes.
But that's not really accurate.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Well, it's not even true when there are criminals doing the bidding of international criminals, which is the story I want to tell you today. Now, Elizabeth, have you ever seen the James Bond movie Dr. No?
Yes.
Okay.
Doctor, yes, I have.
Do you remember how the supervillain had a famous stolen painting in his secret lair?
Yes.
So, back in 1961, a Goya painting was stolen from the National Gallery in the UK, and in order to make their villain, Dr. No, appear more modern and super cultured as this evil genius, that same stolen masterpiece was shown hanging in his lair.
Yeah.
Right? But in real life, are there criminals who actually steal great masterpieces for well-heeled international criminals?
Yes.
To answer that question, I
just answered it.
Oh, then done deal. I went through way too much time and energy because I once tracked down this guy and I wrote a whole article for Mel Magazine about this exact question, and I spoke with an expert, Robert Whitman.
Okay.
Former head of the FBI's Art Crimes Division.
Yes.
30-year FBI veteran.
Yeah.
Now, after his time at the FBI was over, he wrote a book about his career, Priceless, How I Went Undercover to Rescue the World's Stolen Treasures.
Yeah.
So when I asked Robert Whitman about this idea of heist teams stealing art masterpieces for international criminals, he told me, and I quote, "The whole Bond villain thing from Dr. No, that was the beginning of this idea that there's some very rich, nefarious collector, one who's sitting there lovingly looking at his stolen Picasso in the basement. After 30 years of doing these investigations, I've never run into that." So,
well, Pete, I think you're wrong.
Now, when I pressed him about the popular notion of sophisticated art thieves and if that's really just a Hollywood creation, Whitman told me, yeah, no, that's Hollywood. So,
well, Jim, I think you're wrong.
Whitman, he elaborated on that thought because it wasn't enough to just have, yeah, that's Hollywood. And he cited an art heist that he'd worked on that went down in Europe. And he said, and I quote, "We had a case involving a group of individuals that walked into the Swedish National Museum at 5 o'clock, 2 days before Christmas. They had machine guns. They made everybody lie down on the floor. They set off car bombs in the city to stop the police from responding. They made their getaway with a high-speed boat that they'd parked in the harbor next to the museum. So well-thought-out robberies do still happen. There are still real criminal enterprises run by professional criminals who execute complex crimes for a living." So Bob's kind of having it both ways.
Yeah, Ken is. I've decided he has every first name in the world.
Noticed.
Yeah, thank you.
So Elizabeth, if you don't mind me calling you that.
No, go ahead.
Do you remember what I said up top about how if you, quote, scratch the surface of even the most professional art crime, you will likely find a bunch of amateurs doing their best impression of professionals? I remember
when you said that.
Yeah,
it's like
just a couple
ringing
minutes
in
ago,
my ears.
right?
Yeah.
Now, it turns out that's true even for the most well-thought-out and respected museum robberies, which brings us today's crime. The art heist of the National Museum in Stockholm, Sweden.
Nice.
So the year was 2000. It was Friday, December 22nd, 3 days before Christmas, just like your friend James Bob Whitman said.
Yeah.
So on that very same day, over in Scotland at the Skibo Castle, the material girl, a.k.a. Madonna, was about to walk down the aisle at her wedding to film director and friend of the show, Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie.
Yeah.
Aww.
It was a magical day, Elizabeth, December 22nd, 2000.
That's so
Meanwhile,
beautiful. I was there. It was so cold.
Keep that thought in mind.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
no. Was I there?
over in Stockholm, Sweden, things weren't so magical because they were about to get cinematic.
That's magical.
Well, not this way. At about 5 minutes before 5 p.m., outside the luxurious and picturesque Grand Hotel, a car suddenly explodes in a dramatic fireball.
Oh, no.
Thankfully, no one is injured or killed.
Oh, thank goodness.
But the fire burns through the car, filling the air with thick black smoke.
Yeah.
And within mere moments, a second car suddenly explodes just outside of the Strand Hotel, which is another picturesque, luxurious hotel.
Yeah. What is this,
Stockholm.
Puerto Vallarta? That's insensitive. I take it all back.
And just like that first car, the second car is also turned into a pyre of flames topped off by plumes of hot black smoke. Again, though, Elizabeth, no one is hurt or killed.
Okay.
At this point, phone calls come into police headquarters, fire stations, reporting the cars on fire outside of these two swanky hotels. The police and the fire departments, they mobilize to deal with these surprise exploding cars. Sirens fill the air as the first responders leap into action. Mm-hmm. Now, were these exploding cars a coincidence? Or could this be some sort of terrorist action in central Stockholm?
Oh my gosh, Zaron, I don't know.
Well, meanwhile, over at the National Museum of Stockholm, two rather suspicious men have taken up positions inside the gallery, and when they hear the sirens of the first responders arriving at the scene to deal with the two nearby car explosions, the two men, they pull down their balaclava face masks, they brandish their handguns. It's go time.
Uh-oh.
Since it's just before closing time at the museum, the security guards working the floor at the moment are busy ushering people out the door when they're suddenly confronted by these two masked men with their guns aimed right at them. They make everybody lie down, and since they have surprise on their side, these two masked armed men easily subdue the security guards and the people who are late to leave the museum.
Yeah.
Now, this museum has never been robbed before. Thus, they've never invested in security measures. There are no security cameras in the National Museum in the year 2000. There are no active alarm systems. There's just a pair of security guards doing rounds. Yes.
I mean, I've never been robbed, but I have locks on my doors.
Well, it's a little different than that.
I mean,
museums, like, once you're inside, the locks don't really matter. Now, at night, sure,
I know,
yes.
but I'm saying, like, just because something hasn't happened doesn't mean you don't prepare for it.
Well, sure.
That's what I was getting at.
But, Stockholm had not really seen any reason to be all, like, paranoid and suspicious of their visitors. They like to be much more trusting. Well, at this point, this is all they have to protect these masterpieces, these security guards who've been easily overcome.
Yeah.
So, do you want to guess what happens next?
No.
Well,
I'm going to let you tell me.
You don't have to guess because I want you to close your eyes.
Wait, already?
It's an early one.
My eyes are closed.
I want you to picture it. It's the Friday before Christmas, and you're in Stockholm alone, taking in some culture as you try to cheer yourself up after your invitation to Madonna's wedding to Guy Ritchie never arrived. You decide to visit the National Museum in central Stockholm. You've enjoyed your day at the museum. It's really helped to distract you from not attending Madonna and Guy Ritchie's wedding. Just before closing time, you're ushered out by a handsome security guard when all of a sudden chaos erupts. First, you hear a pair of explosions that couldn't have been too far away. Then, two men in balaclava face masks aim guns at the security guards, especially the one who was walking you out. You were just about to ask if he wanted to maybe get some dinner. So much for that, because now he's lying face down on the marble floor of the museum, and so are you. You hear ominous footsteps approaching. When you look up, you see a third man in a balaclava face mask. He's carrying a submachine gun. It seems like he's all business. He and the other two armed men in masks exchange a few quick words. Since the security guards are now incapacitated, two of the heist men bound up the stairs, while the third man keeps his submachine gun trained on the guards. You can hear the two men's boots as they slap against the marble steps, and then they grow quiet once they reach the second floor. A moment later, you hear the boots again on the marble steps. They're moving faster now. The two men practically run back into the lobby where you and the security guards are lying on the floor while the third masked man, the one with the submachine gun, watches over you all. The two masked men indicate that they got what they'd come for. In their arms, they hold 3 framed masterpieces. They're small artworks, but they're also worth millions upon millions of dollars. About $30 million in total if you were cognizant of such things. The museum heistmen don't stand on ceremony. They run out of the museum. As soon as they're out of the door, the security guards both leap to their feet. You also clamber to your feet. All 3 of you rush to the doors of the lobby. The museum is bordered by water on 2 sides, and so you watch as the 3 men run down to the water's edge. They hop into a waiting motorboat, start its engine. Within seconds, the motorboat roars away and joins the other water traffic in the canals of central Stockholm. Since it's now well past 5 p.m., you quickly lose sight of them in the growing darkness. And just like that, they're gone, as their motorboat disappears into the busy waterway. You look back and reconsider asking that handsome security guard if he wants to grab a bite, but you figure that very soon you'll all be busy answering questions from the police, so much for that. Oh well, guess only Madonna gets to enjoy an epic moment of romance today. So there you go, Elizabeth.
Yes.
You just witnessed the robbery of the National Museum in Stockholm.
That was intense.
Well, when the Stockholm police do finally arrive to respond to the emergency at the National Museum, they find that the 3-man heist crew has left a surprise for them. Nails twisted together into tire poppers.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they took a dump on the floor.
No. This is just further evidence that this was a well-planned robbery.
Sure.
They were ready for in case something went wrong or they got slowed.
That's
cops,
spy stuff.
Right? So the police quickly canvass the museum. They discover the thieves got away with 3 masterpieces in total. The stolen artworks are 2 paintings by Renoir, one called Conversation with the Gardener, another one called The Young Parisian. The third painting is by Rembrandt, and it's a self-portrait. Very famous.
Selfie.
Each masterpiece value is estimated at somewhere between $7 to $10 million. The Rembrandt's the most expensive by far. There's more bad news. None of these paintings are insured.
Okay, now come on now.
I told you, no one expected a heist at this museum. So the museum's acting director, Torsten Gunnarsson, he tells the Associated Press that, quote, "We've never had a similar robbery with weapons. It's never happened in Sweden as far as I know." He also speculates that the art thieves were no art lovers and presumably will contact the museum to ransom back the paintings.
Yeah.
There's one problem with this plan, though, as Torsten Gunnarsson puts it, "But we won't pay any money. We don't have any money." So
these guys, what kind of crackerjack operation is this?
I had no idea. It was so like they run thin margins over there,
yeah,
apparently.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Now, he may be using the press to dissuade the thieves from attempting to ransom the masterpiece. I did give him the benefit of that. Or maybe he's just not that cunning and just speaking his mind. I don't know what's going through Torsten's mind. But when he hears about the daring robbery, Thomas Hall, a professor of art at Stockholm University, he scoffs at the news of this heist. He tells the Swedish news outlet, quote, "The whole robbery is absurd. The paintings will eventually return to the museum. No collector wants to buy something that you can't show." So, meanwhile, the police who are in charge of recovering these paintings, they scratch their head in confusion as they turn up no leads in their initial manhunt for the art thieves. Inspector Thomas Johansson of the Stockholm Police Department, he tells the French news outlet, Agency French Press, AFP, that, quote, We're still looking for them. They could escape quite easily. There's no ice on the water at the moment. It's open water, and it's dark.
Yeah.
So, they got nothing going for them. But he also gives life to the idea that someone paid these thieves to pull off this job.
Sure.
Inspector Johansson tells reporters, this was a professional work. It looks like a case where someone ordered them to steal the paintings. A contract job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he also adds that, quote, it's not going to be easy to sell these paintings on the open market, so it must have been someone who just wanted the paintings for their own sake. So he's going with the whole Dr. No idea.
Yeah, but it's not really how that always seems to work. We know.
But he's the, not museum expert, but he's of the opinion that this is what's happening. He's a police guy. He's sitting there saying, there could be a Dr. No case,
God.
So at this point, to make matters worse, the Stockholm police concede that the art thieves could be damn near anywhere because there are thousands of islands that make up the archipelago near Stockholm.
Yeah.
Right? Not to mention, there's also millions of acres of dense forested woods that also surround Stockholm. So it looks like this brazen, semi-militarized theft, this art heist team has successfully gotten away with it.
Yeah.
And there's not a clue to be found. Huh. For now, Elizabeth, let's take a little break.
Okay.
We'll listen to some ads, cool our heels, and when we're back, we're going to investigate this crime and all the international ridiculousness that awaits.
Nice.
We're back, Elizabeth.
We're back.
Okay, so we started out with a well-conceived, well-executed art heist. Not much about it was ridiculous. So, you ready for things to get sideways and ridiculous?
I really am.
Okay, so the first domino to fall is an unexpected eyewitness comes forward to help police with their manhunt. There was this old Swedish man who was there that day working in that same waterway where the art heist crew used it for their motorboat escape.
Yeah.
He sees the robbers running out of the museum, jump in their boat, and speed off. And he thinks to himself, well, that looks suspicious. And so he did what many an old Swedish man unafraid of death might do. He followed them.
You're kidding.
As they sped through the maze of canals.
That's a good citizen.
Oh, right? And so he goes they leave central Stockholm. He chases their wake. He follows them for miles until they enter this big freshwater lake. And he watches as the thieves pull up to the coast, hop out of their motorboat, and make for their getaway. Presumably, they had a car hidden nearby, maybe in the woods. He didn't see the getaway car, but he did get a good look at the motorboat. So this old Swedish man, he just gets back in his boat, turns around and goes back to central Stockholm, and he tells the investigating police what he saw, where the motorboat that the thieves used is located. The police are like, for real? And oh, let's go. And they're quick to act. Within 2 hours of the museum heist, the police find the getaway boat.
No.
They're still on the banks of the lake,
Amazing.
right where they left it. The boat is searched for clues. They take it back to the lab. They look for any evidence, anything to help them in their manhunt. But they find no fingerprints, no DNA evidence. They have no actionable leads from this boat. They're like, well, that was a nice effort, though, old man.
Oh, no.
So out of desperation, the police turn to the public for help. They release a photo of the motorboat in local newspapers. Did anyone know this boat? And wouldn't you know it, Elizabeth, the former owner of the motorboat sees the photos in the newspaper. He phones the police. Oh, that's my boat.
Good citizen.
So he asks, how can I help? The police ask, was the boat stolen? And he was like, no, I recently sold it. And they're like, okay. And he's like, in fact, the buyers were these 3 suspicious-looking men.
Good job, guy.
After they purchased the boat from him, the men asked if they could borrow his boat trailer to transport the boat. Because they buy the boat, it's on a trailer. They're like, oh, we should have brought a trailer.
Darn it.
So, being Swedish, the boat owner's like, yeah, sure. But I'll need some kind of insurance so you'll return it. So he asked for their phone number.
Wait, that's
the insurance.
He's not leave one of your kids.
No, he's no collateral, no leave your wallet, your license.
Give me your phone number.
Give me your phone number so I can call you.
Okay.
So the police ask, do you still have the phone number?
It's pulling teeth, right? This guy.
The former boat owner's like, oh, sure, I wrote it down on the back of the receipt for the purchase. So he digs around, he finds a number, and he's like, hey, here you go, police.
Yeah.
Now, Elizabeth, do you think that there was a fake phone number they used? Maybe a burner phone?
They've been pretty good at covering their tracks thus far, but I'm starting to wonder with the little devilish smirk on your face.
It was a real working number that belonged to one of the art thieves.
Like a landline?
No, like a cell phone.
Darn it.
So now the police, they finally have an actionable lead.
Yeah.
So the Stockholm police, they investigate the phone. They check for any recent calls to or from the phone number, right?
Yeah.
The phone number reveals this network of petty thieves that they already know about. They're like, wait a minute, this guy knows that guy, this guy. So now these guys are, like I said, petty thieves. They mostly steal cars. They break into trucks. They this fell off the back of a truck, that sort of thing, right? But they are not sophisticated art thieves. From this list of people, 2 men are identified as central to it. A 42-year-old Russian national named Alexander Petrov and a 31-year-old Swedish national named Stefan Nordstrom.
Oh, heir to the Nordstrom fortune?
Probably. Big shoe guy.
Let's say they were.
So there's one big problem with the police investigation. Both of these men are locked up in prison at the time of the robbery.
Oh, I don't think they could do it,
So much
Zaron.
for their lead, right?
Zaron, I don't think they could do it.
Except
when
Elizabeth,
you really think about it, Zaron, I don't think they could do it.
Except for we don't have enough facts.
Oh.
Because as Americans, there's something in Sweden that would sound insane to most Americans.
Yeah.
The men are deemed low-risk prisoners. So they're allowed to
one of
leave
those.
the prison for weekends.
The weekend pass. Yeah. We've had a couple of dudes on this show who
But
get that.
I still don't anticipate it. I thought, they were locked up. Couldn't be them. Just simply put.
They're like, you have to stay here during the week when all the good TV's on and you can't watch it.
You can't have a
job. And these are very uncomfortable beds.
Can't walk your kids to school.
No.
So this is exactly what happens that Friday. The men were out of the prison. And
so they're on
furlough.
They're on weekend furlough, and they're like, you know what? Let's go rob a museum.
The National Museum. In fact, let's be the masterminds for it. So
they spent one weekend buying a boat.
Yeah, seriously.
They had to plot that out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, next weekend we'll get some gloves. And so the Russian national Alexander Petrov, he ends up returning to prison on Monday after they pull the job.
Well, that's what you do, yeah.
The Swedish national Stefan Nordstrom does not return.
Oh.
So when he fails to return to prison, the prison authorities and the Stockholm police, they search his cell. They're like, well, he's given us the right to do this. And what do they do to find Elizabeth? They discover a trove of clues. Finally.
Oh, man.
He's got newspaper clippings he's been collecting of previous successful and unsuccessful heists.
Does he have a notebook that says, if I did it on the front?
No, but at this point now, they have proof that Stefan Nordstrom is most likely involved. So meanwhile, the art heist crew discovers something of their own. No one wants to buy the stolen masterpiece. They can't seem to move this thing. And maybe they had an original buyer. Now the person backed out. I don't know. But they can't collect any money for the 3 stolen paintings. So since the black market won't buy them, the thieves try to arrange a backup plan to scare up a buyer.
Yeah.
6 days after the heist, on December 28th, the Russian national Alexander Petrov's lawyer walks into a Stockholm police station and tells, can I talk to a detective?
Right.
And he tells the detectives he represents the men who stole the artwork and he'd like to broker a deal.
Man.
He hands over a ransom note. For evidence that his clients have the stolen masterpieces, he also shows the police a set of Polaroid photos of the artwork with a newspaper from that same day to prove they have it. The police, they take the ransom note, they listen to what he says, they check the Polaroids, and they tell the lawyer, we'll be in touch. Now, Elizabeth, the police are doing something that we in the storytelling business call lying.
Yeah, they're pretty good at that.
They have no real plans to make a deal with the thieves.
Of course not.
But they still plan to catch him. So now they have the lawyer's identity. So the police, they put a surveillance team on his trail to follow them, and they plan to wait for him to meet with his clients, which they assume he will do because the clients are going to want the news, and then they'll just bust them all.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what happens. Within days, the lawyer meets up with his client, Alexander Petrov, the Russian national. I guess the prison let him out again for another furlough.
Sure.
Anyway, it's not just him. The lawyer also meets up with Stefan Nordstrom. So they got the 3 of them together.
The guy on the... perfect.
Right?
The gang's all here. Yeah. And it's a Saturday.
So when the police identify their perps, they rush in, they arrest everyone. It helps that Nordstrom has on him a bag of Polaroid pictures of the stolen artwork.
Are you kidding me? Like the ones that he didn't think the lighting was
new
gonna...
ones. Like here's I've got a new paper.
It's very Terry Richardson.
I want people to know we still have them. I updated the newspaper.
I put some cute outfits on it.
Exactly. Got him in a wood-paneled motel. So naturally, his DNA is all over these pictures. So this evidence is enough for the police to ask for a warrant to raid a known hideout that's part of this men's network of small-time crooks.
In the woods, like a hideout.
No, like in like a cellar, like a basement hideout. So the
Even
police,
better.
They bust down the door of the cellar. They raid the basement hideout. Bad news is no stolen artwork. Good news is they find like a day planner that details the plans for the museum heist. And the best news is in the plans for the museum heist, it also includes a list of all of the co-conspirators by their real name. Not by the street names, not a code name, their real names. So now, armed with this shopping list of criminals.
You have, first of all, you got like a day runner, which has just taken me back to when that was like the important person thing. And then you list the real names.
Yes. It's amazing.
Wow. Social Security. Well, I don't know. They don't have that there, but the equivalent.
Yeah, exactly. So the
DOB.
Stockholm PD, they rush out. They arrest everyone on their shopping list of criminals. They get Alexander Petrov, Stefan Nordstrom, the lawyer, and 10 other men. So they get 13 people in total.
Wow.
So May 23rd, 2001, the 13 men are all formally charged as either perpetrators or accessories to the art heist. So the prosecutor for their case tells local news, "We consider all of them as perpetrators of the crime. It all hangs together. It is one and the same deed." So basically, it's like the Swedish version of a RICO case.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
You're guilty of participation in the conspiracy.
Right.
So all of the co-conspirators now, they insist, of course, I'm innocent.
Sure.
The judge hears the case, does not agree. 8 of the 13 men are imprisoned. Stefan Nordstrom catches a 6.5-year sentence. Alexander Petrov receives an 8-year sentence. 3 other men catch prison sentences between 2 and 4 years, and there's 3 others who receive 4 years each for receiving stolen goods.
Okay.
5 of the men are acquitted, which includes Petrov's lawyer, who was facing charges of accessory to attempted extortion, which is bad for a lawyer, but I guess he hired a good lawyer because he gets off. The bad news for the police is, despite all of the arrests, the charges, and then actual convictions, none of the men talks, and none of them know where the stolen masterpieces are now.
Yeah.
So they get nothing out of it. They just get these people. So they're making headlines. People are like, yeah, but what about the paintings?
Right.
So the police, they've pulled this major bust, but get no new leads to find the missing artwork. They're back to square one.
Yeah.
So then fate with a capital F steps in to shake things up. Because that same spring, the Stockholm police, they raid a house they've been watching as part of a drug case.
Okay.
They round up the suspects. They go in to search the house for evidence of the drug dealing and collect it. And they're doing all the processing, And what do they find? One of the stolen paintings.
Well, at least one.
It's Renoir's conversation with a gardener. She's sitting in a corner, gathering dust.
You can see that these guys didn't we couldn't move it on the black market. Well, you didn't know big dogs.
No, I'm guessing
drug house.
They traded it for drugs.
Yeah, and if that's the level that you're working at, they're not working at levels of international criminals who will buy big pieces, and use it for larger leverage on things.
Well, hold that thought.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because remember, they were desperate at first, but as time goes, I think they start reaching out to more and more powerful players.
Yeah.
So at this point, Kurt Hansen from the Stockholm PD, he has to confess to news reporters, "We weren't looking for the painting, so it was a bonus when we found it." So
bonus.
They're trying to spread good news.
Yeah, hey, why not?
So the Swedish National Museum sends over someone to authenticate the painting because they have to also ensure that it's not a convincing fake, like somebody's forged it and is selling it as one of the stolen paintings.
Right.
They confirm it's the real deal. Boom. 1 stolen painting down, 2 to go.
Check. I'm going to check that off in my day planner.
There you go. This leaves the self-portrait of Rembrandt and Renoir's painting, The Young Parisienne, to recover. Now, the museum's director, Torsten Gunnarsson, he tells the newspaper reporters that he remains optimistic that the remaining 2 paintings will be located, but only time will tell. So now that we've located one of the 3 stolen paintings, purely by luck,
sure.
Let's take another break, Elizabeth. Listen to some more ads. And after these messages, this case takes a truly strange turn as police search high and low for the other 2 stolen masterpieces.
Oh, my goodness.
And we're back, Elizabeth.
Hello.
You ready for things to get even more ridiculous?
Yeah, always.
Good. Okay, let's jump across the Atlantic and pick this story back up.
Okay.
2 of the stolen masterpieces from the Stockholm National Museum, they remain missing. The police have no leads. The suspects have been arrested, sentenced for their role in the heist. They aren't talking. But then there was that stroke of luck. And then there's a second stroke of luck.
Okay.
Because out in Los Angeles, The FBI is just running surveillance on a bunch of Bulgarian drug dealers.
As you do.
While the agents are listening, one of the Bulgarians says something about how they have this masterpiece painting that they're looking to sell. It's Renoir's The Young Parisienne.
Stop.
This catches the ear of one of the agents, and someone was like, isn't that one of the paintings that was stolen from that museum in Stockholm?
Good memory, dude.
So now the FBI focuses their surveillance on the leader of this band of Bulgarian drug dealers in Los Angeles. His name is Boris Kostov. No longer just listening in, they order round-the-clock surveillance of agents on Kostov. One day, when he's coming out of his home, Kostov walks out with a suspiciously sized package. It looks to be the right size to hold one of the missing stolen paintings. Kostov loads the package into his car and heads out for his day. The FBI get behind him. They whoop, whoop, swoop in. They pull over Kostov while he's driving. They ask about the package in his car's trunk. He opens the trunk. They grab it. They open the package. And it is not a stolen painting, Elizabeth.
Oh, no.
You want to guess what it is?
A pizza.
You never will. It's his dry cleaning.
His dry cleaning?
Yes.
Oh, like shirts all folded up.
Like his dirty laundry. Yeah, exactly. Oops. So certain, though, that he must know something about where the stolen painting is, they haul him in for questioning. So the FBI agents, they start sweating Kostov. They grill him. They threaten him with prison time. They inform him that he could be looking at decades behind bars. Now, Kostov is not a young man. He's the leader of this Bulgarian, drug dealing community. Decades behind bars means he would likely spend the rest of his life in prison.
Sure.
So, properly frightened now, Kostov tells the FBI he does know where the Renoir, the Young Parisienne painting is. In fact, he tells them if they'll make a deal, he'll hand over the painting since it was smuggled through LAX and is currently in LA. He's like, I can take you to it.
Wow.
The Bulgarian drug dealers thought they could sell it to one of the rich fat cats in Hollywood. They're like, they buy anything, these idiots.
That's true.
But they had no luck. They couldn't find one of these so-called idiots who
it's not hip enough.
Yeah, so it's a really pretty painting of this young girl and everything.
Yeah, but they at this point, they're wanting more modern stuff.
Sure. But also people just really don't want to buy stolen paintings because
they should have talked to Barbara Streisand.
The legal liability for it is kind of insane.
True,
right?
But
why risk it all for a painting? If you're caught with it,
very true.
You're
very
doing
true.
time
in
federal prison where they don't let you out for weekend furloughs.
That's true. Good point.
At this point, the FBI is like, well, go on, we're listening. You know where it is. The Bulgarian drug dealer Kostov is like, I want the deal. So the FBI is like, well, we need a show of good faith, Kostov. So Kostov tells them, okay, well, I'll tell you where the painting, the Young Parisienne, is located. The FBI, they go out, and sure enough, they recover the painting. It's right where he says it is. The Renoir masterpiece is wrapped up in a towel, hidden in a plastic shopping bag in the basement.
Oh, man.
Very importantly, it's not damaged.
Oh, good.
Yeah, the FBI goes back to Kostov and they tell him his information was solid and, they want to ensure he doesn't spend the rest of his life in prison because there's still the third painting out there.
Right.
So the Bulgarian drug dealer Kostov says, you know what, there's more. I also know where the Rembrandt self-portrait is.
No.
If we make a deal, I will help you get it back. FBI's like, you got a deal. Start talking. So satisfied, Kostov tells the FBI that the final missing stolen masterpiece, it isn't in LA. It isn't in America at all. So it's still in Europe. And they're like, oh, okay. So he's not exactly certain where it is, though. He says he's certain he can help the FBI to find it, though, because he knows the man who has it. And that man is his son.
He rats out his own
He's willing to flip
son.
on his son. That's how afraid he is of spending the rest of his life in an American prison.
Wow.
Yes. So now, at this point, the FBI is like, you salty dog. You got a deal. All right. So it turns out the final missing stolen masterpiece is with Kostov's son, this man named Alexander, a.k.a. Sasha Lindgren. And he's a Swedish national. And a few of his criminal confederates, chief among them is an Iraqi fellow named Baha Kudum and his 4 brothers.
Uh-huh.
So meanwhile, at that exact same time, Baha Kudum and his brother Deya Kudum are busy sweating Sasha Lindgren to sell this stolen painting.
Yeah.
News is not broken about the young Parisian being caught. They just are like, we need to move this, man. We can make.
They knew, yeah.
Like, we've had this for like 4.5 years. We need to do something with it. And they, like I said, they don't know about Kostov getting busted or that he's handed over the Renoir masterpiece to the FBI. But all that's kept out of the press. The FBI does not announce that they've secured this painting.
So do you think the Bulgarian had a romance with a Swedish lady?
That's my guess, but I don't know. I mean, it could just be that he thought it would be better to raise his son in Sweden because crime's easier. If you get busted, you don't go to prison, really.
Yeah, you get the weekends off.
But he couldn't really sell drugs there enough, so he went to LA. That's my guess.
I like that. I like that narrative.
So at this point, it were 4.5 years since the original museum heist. They've been sitting on this painting. It has not moved, can't find a buyer. So other than being just passed around by some drug dealers and career criminals, no one wants to buy the stolen artworks. Meanwhile, the value of this stolen Rembrandt, the self-portrait, by the way, has increased dramatically in this 4.5 years. The painting is now worth an approximately $35 million. It's more than tripled in price.
And a lot of that is because it now has the provenance
of
story
being,
of being,
It's like the Mona Lisa, where it suddenly has a lot more value because it was stolen. And at this point, that is if it's unharmed. Right. Keep in mind. So,
what if they give Rembrandt the old Glasgow smile?
Take a knife to it while they're drunk.
Slice it up, yeah.
Getting high on Rocky. And then so the son, Sasha, and his Iraqi crime buddies, they don't really care that it's worth $35 million. They don't even really know if it's worth $35 million. Sure. Instead, they're going around asking for like 7/100ths of its value. So I won't make you do that math, Elizabeth.
Oh my God, thank you.
But here's what it is. They're willing to sell it for like $250,000, $250,000.
That's it?
Yes, $35 million painting.
It?
They'll take a cool $250,000.
What?
Right? They just want to make something out of it. They want to get their beaks wet.
These ding-dong cuckoo birds.
The FBI contacts the Stockholm police and the Danish cops in Copenhagen, and they let them know the good news that they want to run a coordinated sting operation and recover this final missing masterpiece.
Yeah.
So the Stockholm detectives are super relieved to hear that one of the missing masterpieces has already been recovered, the Renoir, and the FBI has a line on the third. So they're like, oh, that's great to hear. What do you want us to do? And the FBI is like, we're sending over our art crimes guy. He's going to go undercover as an underground authenticator for a European crime family who's interested in buying the Rembrandt. You need help with this plan. The Swedes are like, okay, what is your art crime agent's name? So Elizabeth, remember up top when I was talking about Robert Whitman, the cat I interviewed about the art crime, right? He's the guy the FBI sends over to go deep cover to recover this painting.
That would be so fun.
Right? You imagine picking out your outfit.
He gets the Rick Steves Sweden book. Uh-huh. He's ready. Uh-huh. He's prepped.
And also he's supposed to be working with like a Russian crime family.
He gets the Rick Steves.
No, he doesn't have to do like a Russian anything. He's just like, he has to be somebody that,
So he's like playing,
he's art
playing
guy.
An American who works for all these.
Exactly. And works as an authenticator.
But he gets to go to Sweden.
He's like an Antiques Roadshow judge that they hire for the Russian crime family.
Do you think he did a lot of wig play? Do you think he
I'd like to believe so.
Camped it up with some wigs?
I should have asked him.
Facial wigs.
When I asked him about the recovery, he did tell me this, and I quote, "This LA drug dealer had access to one of the Renoirs. We were able to recover that painting through a drug investigation in 2005. As a result of that recovery, we were able to get that individual to flip for us. He introduced us to the gang in Sweden. They still had the Rembrandt. It was the most valuable piece, worth $35 million. We started an undercover operation in Copenhagen. I posed as an authenticator for the Russian mob." So at this point, 2005, old Bob Whitman flies over to Copenhagen, posing as an art authenticator for the Russian mafia, who are, according to Kostov, looking to buy the Rembrandt. So Kostov tells his son, I got a buyer.
And
he sets up his son. So Kostov, he sets it all up for the FBI, the whole thing. He coordinates the deal to sell the painting via his son, Sasha Lindgren.
This guy's the best and the worst.
Yeah, so even though Kostov vouches for them, it still takes a few weeks to earn everyone's trust and to coordinate this deal. But finally, after a few weeks pass, old Bob Whitman gets the go-ahead and he sets up an in-person meeting with Kostov's son and his crime buddies to authenticate and to see if it's legit. And then if so, he'll buy the Rembrandt.
Sure.
So as Whitman told NPR in 2011, quote, "After about 2 weeks with the thieves who were still in Stockholm, we negotiated the price of the Rembrandt down to $250,000. We actually had $250,000 in cash in the hotel room. We were bringing it back and forth to let them know it was real." Right? Because he's got some show money, right?
He's doing the whole putting the brick up to his ear and posing.
We called that money over here. So the plan is for the meeting to go down in a hotel room in Copenhagen. And of course, the FBI sets up mics and cameras hidden all throughout the hotel room to record this exchange. Danish law enforcement, they send over a SWAT team, and they're hiding out in the hotel room right next door. And
what are they in there for?
Because it's in Copenhagen. It's on Danish territory.
They weren't in Sweden. Okay,
yeah.
I'm following.
Uh-huh. And so the Danish, they have their SWAT team next door, and they are supposed to wait for a signal from old Bob Whitman that the deal has been made and that he has the painting in his hands. And once that happens, he says the code word. The Danish SWAT team then rushes into the hotel room, busts everybody who was in Bob Whitman. The Swedish police, meanwhile, they also get to do some undercover work of their own because they follow the thieves down from Stockholm as they take a train to Copenhagen, to make the exchange.
Yeah.
So Sasha Lindgren, he's down in Copenhagen already. The Baha Kundum and his brother Deha Kundum are aboard the train, right? So you got these two Iraqi nationals going down. They've got this package that looks like to be the right shape and size. That's the stolen Rembrandt.
Yeah.
And the Swedish cops are so tempted to arrest them right there on
sure,
the train and just end it
bet.
all. But wisely, they don't. They stick to the plan.
Okay.
Meanwhile, down in Copenhagen, Sasha Lindgren meets old Bob Whitman at the hotel. Remember, working undercover.
Right.
The two men travel over to the hotel and they handle the exchange. Later that same day, the two Iraqi brothers, Baha and Deha, arrive and they head over to the hotel for the planned meetup and the exchange. At this point, Bob Whitman is trying to play it super cool and stay in character.
Oh, sure.
I'd like to think he's doing some serious wig play, but
he's in a wig and he's just like, he's like developed a character tick.
Yeah, totally. I would love it if he had like a Hawaiian shirt and a blazer. He's like a fun art guy.
Oh, yeah. And he's always got a lollipop in his mouth.
Like a Kojak.
Uh-huh.
So as they're all waiting for the stolen artwork to arrive, finally the brothers Baha and Deha, they arrive at the hotel with these painting-sized package. When they step inside the bugged hotel room, the brothers ask to see the money. Whitman asks to see the painting. They tell him money first. So Whitman doesn't want to spook them, so he does as he's told. He shows them the $250,000 in cash. One of the brothers takes the briefcase, and he just walks out of the hotel room.
Oh.
Right? Nothing's been exchanged. He just walks out. So Whitman still hasn't even seen the painting. He doesn't even know if it's in the room. He's just been promised there's like a package that looks like it could be a painting.
Right.
So the Swedish and Danish law enforcement, they see the brother leave the hotel room with the briefcase. They start to freak out a little, like, should we stop him? What should we do? Meanwhile, Bob is in the bugged room, and he's narrating out loud what's happening. So his partners in the sting operation next door kind of know what's happening. He's like, so once your man checks the cash, then you'll hand over the painting to me. Is that right? And Sasha Lindgren's like, yeah, don't worry about it. And Whitman has to check the painting, but the crimers are like, you need to relax. So, meanwhile, the Swedes and the Danes, they watch the one Iraqi brother take the elevator down to the lobby and then just breezes on out of the hotel with $250,000 in cash. No one does anything because Bob Whitman hasn't said the code word. And these Nordic types are like, we got to stick to the plan. So
it's Farfignugan.
The Swedes and the Danes, right, they're really tempted to jump the gun and rush the scene, but they don't. They trust Bob Whitman's read of the situation, which is a good thing. Because as it turns out, the package that they brought with them on the train down from Stockholm was a decoy. It was a way to test if any cops were involved.
Right.
Like they thought, they fully suspected there might be some chance that this sudden buyer who comes out of nowhere with the Russian mafia might not be legit. So they came up with this way to kind of suss out the cops.
Yeah.
Assuming they'd be tempted to just grab the brothers as soon as they saw the painting-sized package.
Right.
Luckily, the Swedes and the Danes, they didn't jump the gun, and instead they wait for the code word from Bob Whitman. Okay, so back to the hotel room. The Iraqi brother who left with the cash eventually turns back up. He comes right, takes the elevator right back up. This time, he's got a wholly different painting-sized package. He hops back on the elevator, goes back upstairs, rejoins everyone in the hotel room. Boom, boom, boom. You better believe the Swedes, in particular, were relieved to see him return.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at that, Bob Whitman. So at this point, the exchange goes down as planned, as agreed upon. The package is opened. Whitman does his best undercover bit as the authenticator, pulls out like a jeweler's loop or whatever, right? And he checks the Rembrandt self-portrait, and he's like, the Russians really want to know. Like, they'll kill me if I'm wrong. I can't waste their money, right? So he's like playing it up. He confirms the painting is legitimate. Once he's satisfied, Whitman finally says the code word, like Farfignugan, right? The Danish SWAT team rushes into the hotel room. Whitman grabs the painting and he runs to the bathroom and jumps in the bathtub. Why? He says, like, in case there's any gunfire, he doesn't want anything to happen to the painting or to the Bob Whitman.
Or to the, yeah, exactly.
So
he's not wearing a bulletproof drug rug.
No, definitely not. No. So the four men, they get arrested. The two Iraqi brothers, Baha and Deha Kundum, an unnamed Gambian man, I couldn't find his name in the press, and the Swedish national Sasha Lindgren, the son of Kostov, the Bulgarian drug dealer.
Yeah.
They all get busted. This is now September 2005, and the press finally gets the full story. The world learns that the two missing masterpieces have both been safely recovered.
Amazing.
Renoir's young Parisienne was obviously recovered in L.A., and that arrest led to a tip that allowed the FBI, along with the Swedes and the Danes, to run their sting operation 6 months later in Copenhagen, and then that nets the final masterpiece, the self-portrait of Rembrandt.
Yeah.
The Danes obviously are only too happy happy to report the final stolen painting is unharmed after its 4.5 years in the wild.
Wow.
In fact, it was still in its original frame. Nobody even took it out of the frame.
You're kidding.
No. So meanwhile, back in Stockholm, the head of research for the Swedish National Museum, Gorell Cavalli Björkman, he tells reporters that, I jumped with joy. I had expected it would be recovered at some point. I was just hoping we would get it back before I retired. So, which just goes back to what Thomas Hall, the professor of art at Stockholm University, said. I'm not sure if you remember.
Yeah.
He said the whole robbery is absurd. The paintings will eventually return to the museum. No collector wants to buy something that you can't show.
There it is.
Professor Hall was right on all three counts. A, the robbery was absurd. B, the paintings did eventually return to the museum. And lastly, C, no collector bought any of the 3 stolen paintings. Because that only ever happens where? In the movies.
That's true. That's true.
So, Elizabeth, what's a ridiculous takeaway here?
That was a good art crime.
Hey?
I think doing crime in Sweden might be a good idea.
Dude, sister, don't get me started. Like, the more I do research about going to prison, I'm like, I only want to do crime in Europe. It doesn't matter if it's France, Sweden, Belgium, even Germany. I don't really want to maybe go to a Russian prison. I think there's some of the Eastern European ones that may be a little hard on me.
Yeah.
But a lot of the like Western and Northern European countries,
it's the Northern European
their prison
ones.
Concepts are like, I'm like, for real?
They're really nice.
This sounds to me like what I would pay for from a gym. It's incredible. So my ridiculous takeaway, thanks for asking, Elizabeth.
I was not really concerned.
Other than me wanting to do crimes in Europe, is can you believe that these 3 paintings get stolen? Some of them spend 4.5 years, and no damage. Out of all 3, there's like 1 slight scratch on one. That was it. That blows me away. Like, because obviously they didn't care. They wrapped one up in a towel, stuffed it in like a plastic shopping bag, and kept it in a basement.
Amazing.
You ever talk to like art preparers or restorers? And they're all these very delicate, the white gloves and everything. Yeah.
These guys
are like, just try not to get any, like, don't spill any beer on it. So there you go. Are you in the mood for a talk back? Wash this on down?
I am.
What do you got for us, Producer D?
Talk back. Oh my God, did he just say that?
OMG.
Hi, Zaron and Elizabeth. My name is Lindsay, and I love your show so much, but I wanted to honor my father who said ridiculous things like, I'm on him like white on rice, I'm on it like a cheap suit, and told me my grandmother invented the Nike swoosh and that we were related to Mark Twain. Ooh. And whenever I would call him, he would always say, I'm above ground and taking nourishment, which I had never heard anyone else say until you did. So thank you on the anniversary of his passing for bringing him close again.
Oh.
Love you guys.
Oh.
We love that. Oh.
Thank you for that. Look, a kindred spirit.
Totally.
Above ground and taking nourishment. That's more wholesome than my above ground and getting paid.
Well, I have the Midwestern family.
Also, like inventing the Nike swoosh.
Yeah.
What a wonderful
and being related
guy.
to Mark Twain.
What an incredible guy.
Are y'all from Hannibal, Missouri?
It doesn't matter. It's a good story. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And let's everybody
respect to your Pops.
Let's give a moment for Pops. Big nod to Pops. Yeah. What a great guy. Thank you. We got an update from our pal who got hacked.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey guys, I just want to give you an update on the hacker situation, and I have got back like half of my stuff thanks to help from friends and family, and I just want you two to know that you have such a massive impact on everybody. So I guess all I gotta say is I'll see you next time.
Yes, I'm so happy for you.
Most people don't get anything.
Oh yeah.
And friends and family stepping up, man.
Way to go. You got a good community.
That makes me so happy. This has been bothering me.
Solely. All that stayed in my of mind. Yeah.
Yes. That I in fact, not too long after we heard it, I opened my laptop and I was like, oh my God, what if I opened it? My heart sank. So I totally, oh my God. I'm so happy.
Yeah, super stoked for you, brother.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Well done.
Okay. That's well, as always, you can find us online, Ridiculous Crime, on Instagram, Blue Sky. We have our account, Ridiculous Crime Pod, on YouTube. We have the website, ridiculouscrime.com, where there's gifts for you. It's a whole museum of early gifts. And also there's the merch. So I think we're going to be adding some new merch soon. I don't know about that, but I've heard rumors from the interns that they're working on it.
You know what? I'm just going to go in there and make some messed up T-shirts that I've been threatening to do.
Hell yes, Elizabeth.
Yeah. You know
do
what?
It. Be your best self.
I am. I'm going to lean in.
Yeah. We also we absolutely love your talkbacks. They mean the world to us. So please go to the iHeart app, download it, leave a talkback. We would love to hear your voice here. And thank you for all the people who do. It means the world to us.
Seriously.
And also, you can always email us if you want. If you're old school, go to ridiculouscrime@gmail.com. We very much enjoy those as well. So thank you all for listening, and we will catch you next crime. Ridiculous Crime is hosted by Elizabeth Dutton and Zaron Burnett. Produced and edited by the authenticator of dope beats for the Russian Mafia, Dave Kustin. And starring Annalise Rucker as Judith. Research is by our resident professors of all things ridiculous and criminal, Marissa Brown and Jabari Davis. Our theme song is by our house band, Swedish Motorboat, a.k.a. Thomas Lee and Travis Dutton. The host wardrobe provided by Botany 500. Guest hair and makeup by Sparkle Shot and Mr. Andre. Executive producers are the only two men in the market for a stolen European masterpiece, if you happen to have one, for sale, Ben Bolin and Noel Brown.
Ridiculous crime.
Say it one more time.
Ridiculous crime.
Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.